Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most intense and closely monitored standoffs in global maritime security. If we pull up the world map, there's one particular region quickly turning into the ultimate chessboard for global superpowers. It's not the Atlantic Ocean, and it's not only the South China Sea. It is the Indian Ocean. This region is essentially the lifeline of global trade, and right now it is being heavily contested by China's dragon-like string of pearls strategy as it steadily extends its reach southward. This has pushed the reigning heavyweight India to step up and prove to the world who truly commands these waters. And that brings us to an inevitable technological showdown between two of the most formidable next-generation frigates on the planet, India's brand new apex predator, the INS Tarigari, and the Chinese Navy's newest apex hunter, the Type 054B. Today we're going deep. If steel meets steel between these two warships, who survives and who sinks? Picture this. In the past, naval warfare was all about massive ships firing at each other with huge guns. But in modern combat, where radars and sensors can detect almost everything, the physical size of a ship no longer determines its survival. It's all about stealth. So, for round one today, we're focusing on design and stealth capabilities. Let's start with India. The INS Tarigiri is a direct result of Project 17A, a major initiative by India to eliminate the weaknesses of their older fleets. The design of the Tarigiri has been fully refined from bow to stern. The deck is extremely clean, and previously exposed equipment has been concealed beneath the superstructure or behind enclosed panels. Even the angles of the hull have been carefully engineered to deflect enemy radar waves away from the vessel. The result? This 6,000-ton frigate might only appear on an enemy radar as something as small and harmless as a fishing boat. But China isn't holding back either. After the major success of their Type 054A frigates, which they produced in large numbers, China took those lessons and evolved them into the Type 054B, representing a significant generational upgrade. The design of the Type 054B is sleek and futuristic. The superstructure features smooth, sloping angles that blend seamlessly together. The real game changer here is the integrated mast, which houses all the antennas, radars, and sensors into one unified geometric structure, greatly reducing the ship's radar signature. Comparing both in this round, these ships are like ninjas hiding in the shadows of the Indian Ocean, trying to erase their digital presence as much as possible, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When you can't visually detect each other, your most critical weapon isn't your main gun. It's your eyes and your brain. In round two, let's talk about radars and sensors. The golden rule of modern naval warfare is whoever detects first fires first, and whoever fires first usually wins. India's INS Tarigiri brings top-tier technology to the table here, specifically the EL/M224 8MF Star radar, which is advanced Israeli technology. This is an active 4-panel AESA radar capable of scanning and tracking hundreds of targets simultaneously across both sea and air within seconds. Whether an enemy missile is skimming the ocean at high speed or a fighter jet is flying at high altitude, the MF Star can lock on and transmit that data directly into its weapon systems with extreme precision. It's like this Indian ship has godlike vision, seeing everything within a range of hundreds of miles. But China's Type 054B brings equally advanced radar systems to the fight. Even though China keeps many specifications highly classified, experts studying available imagery confirm that the Type 054B is equipped with a new dual-face rotating AESA radar operating on dual-band frequencies. Having dual-band radar allows the Chinese vessel to monitor large areas for long-range targets while also maintaining high-resolution tracking needed to detect smaller incoming sea-skimming missiles. It effectively fills the gaps found in older radar technologies. On top of that, China is well known for its advanced electronic warfare and signal jamming capabilities, which could potentially disrupt the Taragiri's precision vision for critical moments. This round is extremely intense because both sides bring world-class technology. It's essentially a deadlock. Now, we move into round 3, the deciding factor, firepower. If the radar represents the eyes, the missile is the knockout blow. And here India holds one of the most powerful trump cards on the planet, the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. This is no ordinary rocket. It's an absolute beast of the sea, developed through a joint venture between India and Russia. The BrahMos can surge toward its target at nearly Mach 3 while skimming just above the ocean's surface. At that velocity, air defense systems on any vessel have only seconds to respond. If the Type 054B absorbs a direct hit from even a single BrahMos, the immense kinetic force combined with its heavy warhead could be enough to split the frigate in half and send it straight to the ocean floor. India has equipped 8 of these in a vertical launch system, ready to strike at a moment's notice. Music. However, the Chinese Navy didn't design the Type 054B to be an easy target. Chinese naval doctrine depends heavily on volume and a layered defensive shield. The Type 054B is fitted with a 32-cell vertical launch system, VLS, offering significantly greater capacity than its Indian counterpart. These cells can carry a mixed loadout, including upgraded HQ-16 air defense missiles built to intercept threats like the BrahMos before impact or the U-8 anti-submarine rockets. For their counterstrike, China relies on high-speed anti-ship missiles such as the YJ-12 or the subsonic YJ-83. While they may be slightly slower than the BrahMos, China emphasizes swarm tactics, launching large volleys of missiles simultaneously to overwhelm enemy defenses. This becomes a battle between a single razor-sharp Indian samurai blade and a relentless storm of Chinese arrows. Rather than relying on claims alone, let's compare the detailed specifications and procurement costs of both ships side by side. I've prepared a simple breakdown for you here in this table. Let's take a closer look. Reviewing these specs, the first thing that stands out is how new these vessels are. Both the INS Taragiri and the Type 054B are fresh from the shipyards, entering active service around 2024 and 2025. They practically still carry that brand new ship scent. These ships represent the cutting edge of 2020's naval technology. Music. Taking a deeper look into their weapon subsystems, it's clear this is an even matchup. Starting with the main gun, India selected the highly dependable, rapid-firing Otto Melara 76mm Super Rapid. China, meanwhile, opted for a stealth-shaped 100mm gun, delivering a heavier impact per shot. Examining the CIWS, the final defensive barrier before a missile strikes the hull, the Taragiri is equipped with 2 AK-630M systems that create a dense 30mm barrage. But China's 054B stands out in this area. It features the Type 113 Zero Gatling system, capable of firing an incredible 10,000 rounds per minute, supported by an additional defensive layer with the HQ-10 missile launcher. It forms an exceptionally tight defensive shield. When it comes to anti-submarine warfare, India relies on traditional ASW rockets like the RBU-6000 along with its torpedoes. China advances further with the U-8 rocket deployed directly from the VLS, providing extended strike range against submarines. But India delivers a strong response in the aviation category. The Taragiri can operate up to 2 advanced anti-submarine helicopters such as the MH-60R Romeo, while the 054B carries only 1 Z-20F. This gives India a clear edge in aerial surveillance and target tracking. And as we scroll down to the very bottom line of this table, everyone is going to notice some extremely fascinating numbers. The cost. Why does India's INS Taragiri climb to over $850 million, While the newer Chinese type 054B comes in at around $500 million, that's nearly half the price. The main reason comes down to technological dependence. Even though India's Project 17A ships are built domestically, the core systems of the vessel, such as the radar, sensors, and certain missile components, still rely heavily on imported technology and licensing from countries like Israel and Russia. Those expenses add up quickly. On top of that, the Indian ship is slightly larger and heavier. On the other hand, China has managed to reduce the cost of the Type 054B significantly because they have achieved full self-reliance. Every component, every bolt, radar system, and missile is entirely produced within China. In addition, China fully leverages economies of scale. Producing ships in large numbers on an industrial assembly line lowers the cost per unit to remarkable levels. But just because the Chinese vessel is more affordable doesn't mean it lacks quality. Instead, it highlights the formidable strength of China's defense industry, capable of mass-producing high-performance weapons at efficient costs. This is exactly what creates a major challenge for India and Western powers. With the same budget, China can deploy far more warships across the ocean. Ultimately, if a conflict were to erupt and the INS Taragiri faced the Type 054B one-on-one in the heart of the Indian Ocean, the outcome would be extremely tight and undeniably intense. India may hold the edge in raw striking power. If China suffers an early BrahMos impact, the battle could end instantly. However, China offers greater flexibility, advanced sensor systems, and if they engage in a wolfpack formation, as they often do, India would be under serious pressure. But above all, wars aren't decided by specifications alone. Crew experience, discipline training, and real-world combat strategy are what ultimately determine who controls these waters. So, what do you think? After hearing all this, between India's mix of elite foreign technology and China's massive industrial strength and independence, who do you believe has the upper hand in the battle for the Indian Ocean? Share your thoughts in the comments.